All right, news of the day. Oscar Lindblom. Lindblom has signed a 3-year, $9 million extension with the Philadelphia Flyers. So any concern about him leaving the Flyers or as a restricted free agent, maybe ending up getting a ton of money and maybe putting him in a cap situation that they don't want to be in, all of that is aside. And Oscar might play. Now, people are really running with this, and I'm not going to. Chuck Fletcher has basically said, if it's safe, we want him on our 31-man roster. We want him with us when we get the playoffs going. If there's a safe way to do it, if it's deemed safe by us and the player, he'll play. And when you look at the numbers right now, NHL players are doing a pretty good job of keeping themselves safe and secure. And so Lindblom, who's coming out of therapy for cancer, and this is not a minor thing, right? This is one of those, potential high risk factors. We'll see what they do. But I do like that Fletcher's basically said, look, he may play, he may not. If we can get him into the bubble, and if it's safe, we'll throw him on the ice. If it's not safe, we won't. So as panicked as some people are going to be just at the idea of that necessarily happening, Domi right now looks like he may play for Montreal as well. So we may very well, again, because tests are coming back negative as often as they are, we may see a situation where maybe all the guys with the health issues are able to play because it's still safe for them. Sidney Crosby, for those who may be concerned at all, don't be. I honestly, he's skating before practice. I've been seeing all this. He's not on the ice. And all I'm thinking is, he's just building dramatic tension. He's Sid the Kid. When the games are important, he'll be there. He'll be on the ice. And I would be very surprised if he's not. Sidney Crosby is one of the best players in the league to this date. And for people who want to say, well, Connor McDavid's the best, or McKinnon's the best, understood. But yeah, Crosby and those cup rings, it's hard to argue against. And again, just strictly from a points perspective, you can't argue Crosby's the biggest points producer in the NHL. But in a big game, he can still be the guy, and he can still be absolutely the best at it as well. Now, I haven't talked about guys who aren't in practice because to this point, it's just been they're not in practice. Let the speculation run wild. I'm not going to do that. But what's made news with Boston, Cam Neely's revealed this, is that both Pastrnak and Kasha will not be practicing with the Bruins before they go to Toronto. This would tell me they're probably going to be behind the other guys. Now, Pastrnak should catch up quickly. The thing is, Kasha, who was a relatively new member of the Boston Bruins, it's not a great situation for him. So that could be an issue. So once we're in the bubble, they'll be with the team for practices, and of course they have the round robin games to get themselves into shape. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not that negatively impacts Pastrnak and puts him a step behind. And again, with Kasha, the comfort factor with your new team, though he's been a Bruin for months, the comfort factor is I think still potentially an issue with Kasha. And I love Kasha. I'm really glad he's in Boston. Really hoping that he has a good run. I meant to mention this in the News of the Day video. I don't think I did. The actual broadcasting pairs will be as follows if you're listening or watching in Canada. Cuthbert and DeBrusque will be the guys calling the Western games, and Houston and Simpson will call the Eastern games. I know there are Toronto fans who don't like Jim Houston calling their games. To me, Jim Houston at this point is kind of a voice of hockey, Chris Cuthbert being one of the others. Gord Miller's very good as well on TSN. And if it's not going to be Bob Cole, then to me, Houston and Cuthbert are the guys. And yeah, that would be fine if Houston was calling the Western games and Cuthbert was calling the East. But to me, Chris Cuthbert is very much an Alberta voice. So I think of him with games out of Alberta. And for Houston, I mean, yes, he was a voice of the Canucks, and I miss him in Vancouver. But he has been the guy doing the Leaf games for a while. So, again, I'm just glad we're going to have hockey games starting next Saturday. The New York Islanders made an announcement today that I had to do kind of a double take on. They have paired with UBS, a finance company, or a wealth management company, on 20-year naming rights. And I thought, It's not IBS. But, you know, UBS, this could be great. So it's going to be UBS Arena. It's just too bad because Belmont Arena just sounds better, right? Belmont Arena. I miss when arenas didn't have the corporate names. I do. So for people who are like, oh, he doesn't like the Seattle name. He's fine with all the others. No, I'm not. No, the Seattle one's just ridiculous. But UBS doesn't sound fantastic either. And again, there's BB&T Center and there's the Paints Arena and all that. And I'm, I understand it. It's an expensive building that you're putting up. You're saying, hey, you want to throw your name on it? Give us some millions of dollars and we'll let you throw your name on it. I get the point. But it's still weird to me. It's one of those things that I don't know I'll ever really truly get over. When the Boston Bruins moved into what became the Fleet Center, I was like, nah, come on, just call it the Boston Garden. Oh, they're not going to call it the Boston Garden. So, yeah. We'll see how things go for the Islanders when they move into their brand new building soon enough. ESPN took a poll, so this is it's one of those things that's interesting. It's within the region of error, though. Like your error is usually about a 2-3% difference. So 59% of fans polled by ESPN are saying they're anxious to watch all the sports they can. Not just they'll watch some, just anything I can watch, I'll watch it. And it was 56% when they did the same poll in April. Fans are going to watch. And we'll see how things turn out this summer. Of course, baseball gets things started this week. Basketball gets things started after that. And, of course, hockey's right there with them. And we'll see how much attention the National Hockey League is able to generate in the U.S. I've said, whichever sport comes back first should get a lot of attention. And it's baseball. Now, which sport can last the longest might be part of it as well. If baseball faces a shutdown, if the NBA, if something happens, they face a shutdown. Although, with 0 tests announced for the last week or so, I think the NBA is in good shape as long as they can keep that testing to 0 numbers. And, of course, the NFL, we don't know what's going on there yet. Although, I do have to do an Entertainment Guy video today where we discuss. Apparently, if a team is always bad in football, it might be the owner's fault, apparently, because Washington first and now the New York Jets. So I have to ask myself, seeing that, how bad is the owner of the Cleveland Browns that they've been that bad for that long? And so what kind of... Anyway, that was the first thought I had was, wow, the Jets and Washington, what's going on then with the Browns? And I'm wondering if that's a part of it. So maybe at some point I can do a video on that channel discussing whether or not having an owner that's controversial or seen as a bad owner means that your team's not going to have the results on the field, on the ice, that kind of thing. That might be kind of fun to look at because there does seem to be a correlation. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yes, I think Lindblom gave the Philadelphia Flyers a pretty good deal. But remember, during this pandemic, we're probably going to see a lot of that. So there's hope if you're a Blues fan that maybe Pietrangelo doesn't go anywhere after all. Because players may not be getting the kind of money this summer as was anticipated, say, last January, December. Remember all that way back when, before all of this? All right. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.